Hey web coders, this is part 2 of my GitHub post. Yesterday I talked about some common words in GitHub, but let me just walk you through my workflow. First thing I do, I go to GitHub and I set up a repo. And I take the SSH link from GitHub and I give that to Claude or Codex. And I say, here's my repo. Claude then sets up a local Git and it creates the first branch, which is typically main, because that's what GitHub does. So what I then do is I tell Claude to move any code that I've already created to the repo in main, and then we create a new branch and we call that v0.1, for example. Then I start working in that branch, and then when I'm done working in that branch for the session of the day, I commit. I then push the branch to GitHub, and Claude then gives me a link to do something called a pull request. And a pull request just allows me to merge the code that I just pushed up with main. And main is what's connected, in my case, to Vercel or Railway. So when I merge code into main, Vercel and Railway will see that change, and they'll rebuild the virtual container with the new code, so I can see that information reflected publicly. Many of you, based on yesterday, were saying that you only work in main. You may not have known about other branches. So the problem with that is, if you work in main all the time and you want to test something, you can only test it locally, and you may not know if that works in production or not because of internet configurations and all this, and other security issues, of course. So you push to main, fine. If it's just you testing using the site, great. But if you got live users, you don't want to take that risk. So if you create a branch called 0.1, you push the branch, what happens is, in Vercel, for example, it will build that branch when you push as a preview build, which is not public. Only you can access it in Vercel. And you can test there. And it acts like production, but it's not. And then when you merge, then it goes to main, then it's in production. And after I do that, I tell Claude, all right, let's change branch.